Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a journey of transformation where I challenge everything you thought you knew about growing older, specifically how to live with true peace after 70. I'm excited to share with you this video that I hope will help you discard the 5 burdens that hold you back, a topic that has reshaped my understanding of aging. Over the past few months, I've spoken with elders, read countless books, and scoured numerous articles to uncover the profound wisdom that emerges when we learn to cast off the weight of unnecessary burdens. Today, I want to invite you to rethink what you hold on to, be it physical clutter, the habit of pleasing others, the chains of regret, toxic relationships, or even the paralyzing fear of what lies ahead. In my own experience, the journey to liberation was neither easy nor instantaneous, but it has opened doors to a life filled with clarity, purpose, and genuine happiness. Let's dive deep into these 5 transformative releases, and I promise you a narrative that is both personal and profoundly enlightening. I vividly remember the day I realized that the very act of trying to please everyone had become a prison of its own. Imagine waking up each day burdened by the need for constant validation, a burden that grows heavier with each unsolicited opinion or passing judgment. I met a remarkable individual, whom I'll call Mary, who spent decades bending over backwards to earn approval, sacrificing her own dreams on the altar of external expectations. Through her story, I learned that the desire to be liked is a chain that restricts our freedom, often leaving us feeling invisible and unheard in our own lives. It was through heartfelt conversations and shared experiences that I discovered the importance of authenticity over approval. I started questioning, isn't it time to discard this compulsion and reclaim the energy that rightfully belongs to our own happiness? Mary's transformation inspired me to explore further, delving into research and personal anecdotes that highlighted the silent struggles many endure. The more I investigated, the clearer it became that shedding this weight was essential for any meaningful progress beyond the age of 70. In another chapter of my journey, I encountered the deeply ingrained habit of clinging to regret and the past, a habit that can shackle our potential like invisible chains. I once sat down with a gentleman named James, who spent his later years mired in memories of mistakes and missed opportunities. His story resonated with the idea that regret, rather than serving as a lesson, can become an anchor that holds you back from embracing the present. I recall a moment when I shared with him a powerful quote by Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This sentiment struck a chord with both of us, serving as a reminder that dwelling on what could have been only diminishes the brilliance of what is. Over many discussions and hours of introspection, I learned that transforming regret into wisdom is not about erasing the past, but about using it as a stepping stone toward a more liberated, joyful future. James's transformation illuminated the path for me, reinforcing the idea that releasing past regrets can rejuvenate your spirit in ways you never imagined. As I continued to explore the art of letting go, I realized that toxic relationships are perhaps the most insidious of all burdens. Picture your life as a lush garden, full of potential and beauty, but imagine it slowly strangled by invasive weeds. That's what toxic relationships are like. They creep into every corner of your existence, draining the energy and light you need to flourish. I once encountered a woman, Lisa, if I clearly remember her name, whose long-standing friendships and family ties had gradually turned into sources of constant criticism and negativity. Her story was a wake-up call for me. I saw how the very people we often take for granted can sometimes be the ones holding us back. I learned that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-respect. Over the years, I observed that cutting ties with those who diminish our value is essential for cultivating a space where true, nurturing relationships can grow. The metaphor was clear. Just as a gardener must remove the weeds to allow the flowers to bloom, so too must we let go of those relationships that stifle our growth. Through Lisa's courageous example, I came to understand that reclaiming our inner peace sometimes means saying goodbye to what once felt like family. One of the most profound challenges I've encountered is the fear of death, a fear that often shadows the later years with anxiety and regret. I vividly recall a conversation with a wise mentor who shared his personal struggles with the inevitable, reminding me that death is not the enemy, but rather a natural, inescapable part of life. This fear can paralyze us, robbing us of the joy and spontaneity of the present moment. I once read a compelling insight by Brené Brown, a recognized expert on vulnerability and courage, who stated, "Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change." Her words resonated deeply, challenging my preconceived notions about mortality. Instead of allowing the fear of death to dictate my choices, I learned to see it as a powerful motivator to live fully and authentically. This mindset shift opened my eyes to the possibility that by embracing our finite nature, we can truly prioritize what matters: experiences, relationships, and personal growth. Each day becomes a precious opportunity to celebrate life, to let go of unnecessary worries, and to live with intention and joy rather than fear. Reflecting on my own journey and the stories of those I've met, I discovered that regret is not merely an emotion, but a heavy cloak that can suffocate our spirit if left unchallenged. I remember sitting across from a dear friend, Robert, who recounted his life filled with what-ifs and moments he wished he could change. His narrative was a mosaic of lost chances and lingering sorrow, yet it also held a powerful lesson. Regret, if unaddressed, becomes a roadblock to living in the present. I challenged his perspective by asking, what if we transformed each regret into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block? This conversation led me to realize that our past mistakes, as painful as they might be, can offer invaluable lessons if we allow ourselves to learn from them instead of being defined by embracing our imperfections and forgiving ourselves. We open up space for growth and self-compassion. I saw firsthand how releasing the burden of regret can unshackle one's potential, allowing for a future filled with hope and renewed energy. The transformation in Robert was nothing short of inspiring, a reminder that every day offers a new beginning, a chance to rewrite the narrative with a spirit of resilience and acceptance. Another crucial element in this journey of liberation is the willingness to let go of the constant need for validation from others. For years, I too was ensnared by the pursuit of external approval, measuring my worth through the eyes of those around me. This quest, as I discovered, often leads to a life lived in perpetual compromise. I remember an eye-opening moment when a mentor told me, "Your true self is waiting on the other side of fear." That phrase resonated deeply, urging me to break free from the chains of people-pleasing. It wasn't until I began prioritizing my own needs and values that I realized how much energy I had been wasting trying to meet everyone else's expectations. The freedom that comes from embracing your authenticity is immense. It's like finally stepping into the sunlight after a long, dark winter. I also found inspiration in Brené Brown's insight on vulnerability, which reinforced the idea that being true to oneself is the key to unlocking creativity and genuine connections. Letting go of the need for constant affirmation is not an act of rebellion, but one of deep self-care, a necessary step toward reclaiming your inner peace and self-worth. Equally vital is the courage to welcome change, no matter how entrenched old habits may seem. I've witnessed remarkable transformations in people who, despite being set in their ways, dared to reinvent themselves in their later years. Take the story of Samuel, for example, a man who, at 75, decided to pursue a lifelong passion for painting, a dream he had shelved due to societal expectations. Samuel's journey was a testament to the boundless capacity for growth, regardless of age. His renewed vigor was like a burst of spring after a long, harsh winter, infusing his life with color and creativity. I spent hours conversing with him, absorbing every detail of his decision to break free from the constraints of his past. His courage reminded me of Tony Robbins' powerful assertion that change is inevitable. Progress is optional. Samuel chose progress, and in doing so, he transformed his life into a vibrant canvas of possibility. His experience taught me that it's never too late to embrace new opportunities, redefine your identity, and pursue passions that once seemed out of reach. Change, after all, is the spark that ignites the flame of a fulfilling life. As I pieced together these insights, a recurring theme emerged: the importance of discarding not just physical clutter, but also the mental and emotional burdens that weigh us down. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, each stone representing a regret, a toxic relationship, or a paralyzing fear. Over time, that load becomes unbearable, affecting every step you take. I once encountered a woman named Eleanor, whose life had been transformed when she finally decided to empty that backpack. Through introspection and counseling, she learned that every burden discarded created space for healing, growth, and genuine happiness. This process is not about erasing memories or denying past experiences. It's about making room for the beauty and opportunities of the present. I recall reading another inspiring quote, this time from Tony Robbins, who famously said, "The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships." His words underscored the idea that nurturing positive connections and self-respect is essential for living fully. Eleanor's story, combined with the wisdom of experts and my own personal revelations, taught me that letting go is not an act of loss, but one of profound liberation, a necessary step toward embracing a lighter, more meaningful existence. Bringing all these reflections together, I now see that the 5 burdens we often cling to: seeking approval, harboring regret, nurturing toxic relationships, fearing death, and resisting change are like anchors that prevent us from sailing freely into the horizon of our later years. Each of these elements, when held onto too tightly, creates obstacles to our well-being and happiness. I've learned that discarding them is not about forgetting the past, but about liberating ourselves to embrace the future with open arms. Think of it like renovating a cherished old home. Sometimes you must remove the old, worn-out fixtures to reveal the beautiful structure beneath. This process of renewal demands effort and courage, but the rewards are immense: a life filled with authentic relationships, meaningful experiences, and the peace that comes from living true to oneself. My journey, along with the stories of those I've met along the way, has reaffirmed that our later years can be a time of rebirth, provided we are willing to let go of what no longer serves us. By choosing to live intentionally, we invest in our own happiness and lay the foundation for a life rich in purpose and fulfillment. Reflecting on everything I've shared today, it becomes clear that these insights were not simply handed to me on a silver platter. They were forged through deliberate, painstaking effort. I spent countless hours engaging with elders, experts, and literature, each conversation and page contributing to my understanding of what it means to truly let go. I realized that every story of liberation, whether it was about shedding the need for validation or releasing the grip of regret, was a testament to the human spirit's resilience. I've come to understand that transformation is a journey paved with vulnerability, courage, and self-compassion. By embracing change and discarding burdens that have long weighed me down, I discovered that life after 70 can be vibrant and full of possibility. You may believe me. This journey is one of continuous learning, where every day presents an opportunity to rewrite our narrative with renewed purpose. The insights shared today are not mere suggestions. They are the result of deep reflection, extensive research, and heartfelt conversations with those who have walked this path before me. They serve as a reminder that no matter our age, the power to change our lives lies within our hands. As we draw this conversation to a close, I want to leave you with a powerful call to action. I invite you to join me in building a community where we share our thoughts, experiences, and aspirations, a community that stands as a beacon of support and encouragement for those navigating the later chapters of life. If you found value in this exploration of letting go and embracing freedom, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video. Watch other videos on this channel, where we dive into similar themes of healthy aging, resilience, and renewal. By coming together, we not only enrich our own lives, but also create a support network that combats loneliness and fosters genuine connections. Remember, the journey to liberation is not achieved overnight. It is built through deliberate daily effort. Let this message serve as both a spark and a reminder that every moment holds the potential for new beginnings. Embrace hope, celebrate change, and know that you have the power to shape a life filled with purpose, joy, and the unyielding promise of renewal.